Welcome back to another Boneheads episode. We've got a lot to update you all on.
It's been a while, but there's been a lot of good stuff happening.
I think we left last I think we last left off and we were going to film a saran wrap video.
Yeah.
We have since filmed that and it's been probably a month or two since we filmed that.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And then after that we filmed two more videos. Well, technically one more video and then a special video that Sheldon filmed. So we're going to try to get those uploaded here soon and get the ball rolling.
Yeah, that's for sure. The saran wrap house was super uncomfortable and kind of cold.
Yeah. We bought new sleeping bags for that and sleeping bags did pretty well. It was bearable. We had another buddy with us and he helped us build it and we stayed in it and it was you woke up sore, that's for sure.
Yeah. I slept on a slide and I was like this all night.
I slept on like a dog bed.
Because you're the dog. All right. So, as far as our overall channel theme and ambitions and direction and all that, it seems like maybe, depending on how it goes, we've got a couple of good title ideas for our saran wrap house. And one I was thinking of is maybe even I built an invisible tree house since it's see through and all that invisible stuff has been going around. But
It's a good idea. We kind of boofed it though a little bit
why is that?
because we forgot to take a thumbnail.
Oh, we got half of one.
We kind of got a thumbnail, so we'll see what we can do with it. But we finished filming and we just packed up and left, and then it snowed, so there's no saying what this fort or tree house looks like.
It does not look good. I'll tell you that much.
You've seen it?
No, I just know.
Oh. Yeah, it after we built it, it took us a few, like maybe a week or two, to actually go stay in it. And it had snowed once before we stayed in it, and it made it sag like probably 3 feet than when we built it. So it was a lot closer to the ground when we filmed the video. So I can only imagine what it looks like now.
Yep. Probably it's on bottom ground floor. But
So if that's a lesson to any of you, get your thumbnail right as soon as you get done building it or whatever you're doing, get your thumbnail and then try filming your video.
yeah, we might be a little hosed on that one, but we'll see. Still gonna be a video. We got to pump some content.
Yeah, we could always get a screen grab too if we need to.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then after that, we had a great podcast. Filming episode, whatever. Filming another video with that, and then let's see. After that, we started in on our snowmobiling course, and so that's a big thing we've been thinking about is how to monetize our following as we build it. And you and I have really been focusing on building out our brand and building out other things that people can buy. And so we're super into snowmobiling, so it seemed like a good idea to make a course teaching people the A to Z on how to snowmobile. So we filmed 8 episodes of that so far, and then this week we're going to go out and film the in-person on location, how to get unstuck and all that jazz, actually on a snowmobile in the middle of the mountains.
Yeah, so if you don't know already, we have a second channel called Bonehead Snowmobiling, and that's strictly just snowmobiling videos. So that's what he's referring to is we're trying to build our following on that channel separate from this main channel Boneheads and sell a snowmobiling course to those who follow that channel.
Yes, and ironically enough, we priced it at $79.99, stealing the idea from the course king himself, Unspeakable. And little did we know what would happen after that. It was pretty wild. The producers of Blueprint sent out an email to everybody, and they said, if you want to be in a video, fill out this form. And I was like, all right, whatever, I'll fill it out. And so I filled it out, and then 3 days later, they were like, you've been selected. We're going to pay for you to fly out and come film a video.
Yeah, so Blueprint is Unspeakable's course that he sells that teaches anyone who buys it how to become a YouTuber and everything you need to know about video, editing, the whole 9 yards. So that's what we purchased, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I just got back 2 days ago from filming on set with them, and it was wild, to say the least.
Yeah, dig in. Tell us more.
Grab a shovel.
Yeah.
So they, the first thing that happened when I got there, it was pretty crazy because you roll up to Unspeakable's filming house. He doesn't actually live there. So he's just got this massive house solely for filming and some other nice house to live in. And so you roll up and the gates open and it's like a tropical paradise almost. And there's this little tiny road that's in the middle of like a lake that's surrounding his house that's only for him. And so you drive up and then he's got like a tiny little tugboat in the water somewhere. He's got a zip line and a lifeguard house and all sorts of Lego construction things out in the yard. And then you drive a little further and he's got a full-size water slide hanging off the house. And then he's got a 6-wheel 4-wheeler and ton of those tiny little trucks, and all the windshields are smashed in because they bust into stuff. And then there was like scooters and bikes and tanks and trains. Like everything you could think of was just laying around. Just, I don't even know. And then there's jet skis and his giant Lego tank. And then he bought a house off of Temu or I don't know, somewhere.
Amazon.
No, it wasn't Amazon. It was like either Temu or TikTok Shop. And it was a whole house sitting in his backyard, and it looked super modern, like something out of a movie.
Was it like the house that unfolds though?
No, it was cooler.
So, because that's his Amazon house that he bought.
No, it was. I'll have to show you the video later, but it was wild. I mean, it looked like a movie set, and he said he bought it straight off of there, like no lie, and it was $30,000. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And so there were 5 other creators there. All of them were kids, though, so I was kind of the old guy. The oldest one was 15, I believe, so 10 years older than the next youngest one. So I felt like an old dude with them, but Nathan's got a year on me, so in the scheme of things, it didn't matter. But these kids were super interesting. One of them has a channel with his family, and they prank each other. I don't know if you've seen the video where the mom falls over the back of the ladder with like a bucket of paint, and the kid shoots her with a dart. That's them. They have like almost 1 million subs on YouTube and over 1 million on TikTok, and I don't know, like 600,000 on Instagram or something.
Wow. It's pretty nifty.
Yeah.
So what did you do the first day?
The first day, so after, rolling up and seeing all that jazz, they put us in like a cast room, and all the parents were up there with their kids, and we were up there. And then Nathan and his crew went around and shot B-roll of the giant school they built. So that's a good segue into explaining what the video was. It was he turned his house into a YouTube school. And so he had like desks set up everywhere, and like an auditorium where he gave his inaugural speech. And yeah, so that was pretty wild. But we sat up in that casting room for a couple hours while they were filming B-roll and got to know the parents and all that stuff. And then they called us down, and he gave us this whatever, intro to the video and kind of talked to us a little bit. And then he told us right away to go make the worst video we could ever possibly make. So I
what'd you do?
I tried really hard. I walked around, and there was a school desk outside, and I sat in the school desk, and I put my hand in a pile of glue accidentally. And so I had glue all over my hands, and then I went inside to wash it off, and it wouldn't wash off. So then I went outside and shook Nathan's hand with a handful of glue. I don't think he liked that, but it was really funny.
So you didn't win the worst video.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I can't remember. But I'd never talked to him until then, and I was like, hey, man, put her there. He was like, oh, why is your hand so wet and sticky? And so after that, we filmed a bunch of other segments, like, I don't know, learning about titles and thumbnails, and learning about intros, storytelling, and all that jazz.
So this is a video that's going to be going on his main channel?
Yes. Yep. Dropping on the Unspeakable main channel.
So you're going to be featured on his main channel?
Yes, sir.
Were you wearing your Boneheads hat?
I was some of the time.
Some of the time?
Yeah.
You got a rep.
True, but see, that's what Nathan wears his hat backwards like this, because if you wear it like you're wearing it, it casts a shadow on your face. So it's hard to film. And since I only have a 5 head and it's not like all bald, I got away with, styling my hair a little bit.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. It was super sick.
Okay, so how'd you wrap up day one?
How do we wrap up day one? We filmed until like 10:30 or 11, maybe.
Dang.
And
that's late.
That was late. It was...
What time did you get to the compound?
At 9.
So you were there.
It was a
13
shift.
hours, dude.
It was a shift and a half. So he had us film a couple other things, and then he told us at the very end of the day, on day one, that we had to come up with a video idea to film the next day. And he said, you can have whatever budget you want, do whatever you want. And so I was like, it's pretty wild.
You should have bought a whole stadium.
Bought a stadium.
Like, purchase all the tickets to a Houston Texans game. And you just showed up, and you're the only fan there.
That would be really funny. I don't know if his credit card limit's quite that high. But
wouldn't that be funny?
That would be funny.
You're the only person in the stands.
I don't know.
Out of 80,000 people that could be there.
That'd be pretty baller, but
at an NFL game.
You would love that.
That'd be sick.
You would. Yeah. So
so are you going to give us a little spoiler on what you filmed, or are we keeping that secret on until it's dropped?
For sure. We're going to spill the beans.
When are you going to drop it?
When am I going to drop it?
Yeah.
It's embargoed until January 11th is when he drops his video.
So you can't do it until he drops his?
That's correct. He didn't want any spoilers on that as far as the visuals go.
Makes sense.
But
So the plan, what's the plan? Is it to get the video uploaded the same day he uploads his?
oh, for sure, get it scheduled, ready to post. But I think we'll get a lot of traction off of that. I think, especially since it's a main channel video. I mean, it'll probably get like 5 million views at least over its lifetime.
Well, and you got a nice thumbnail with him in it, so that should help.
Yes, for sure. That was super nice of him. All the other kids, it was hard. Some of them got thumbnails, but my thumbnail was, or my title and thumbnail was, Unspeakable gave me the keys to his house. And so he and I filmed an intro on day 2 of him handing me the keys and saying, go do whatever you want, yada, yada. And so I was trying to skydive into his house with somebody and like land on his beach. But the office lady, she was not having any of that. So we got pushed back to normal skydiving. So I just went normal skydiving. And then after that, I came back and drove his tank and plowed through some stuff and like tore up his whole property. And he really enjoyed that, I guess. I don't know. He was he likes things breaking. I don't know. And then after that, what did I do? I drove every vehicle he had there. I drove his little tiny tanks that are actually pretty fast. We should get one. They're like $3,000 or something on Alibaba.
Sure.
I mean, I think it would be really fun.
We'll become Alibaba people.
Alibaba people, yes.
Alibaba Express.
But and then after that, I toured every part of his house I could find, and then rode his jet skis forever. While you were here snowmobiling, I was doing the same. I was trying to pop wheelies.
You're just doing
Warmer in water, yeah. It was really fun though. We should get some jet skis, but then I just went around doing some other random stuff, and it's not going to be that interesting to talk about on the podcast. It's way cooler if you can see what his house looks like.
For sure.
But it's super interesting because this video that Nathan's making is like a top of funnel for his course. And so this video is going to push a lot of people to buy his course, which is going to be another recurring revenue thing for him.
Makes sense. So talk about his like his crew. How many people does he have on staff, and what kind of people does he have? And like, cause you and me, it's just pretty much you and me, aside from occasional guests here and there to film and be involved. But what's his like? What's a guy with 30 million subscribers? What's his like?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Behind the scenes.
It was way different than our little rinky-dink setup we got. They've got 4 filmers, I think. And then
okay, side note.
Yeah,
what do they film on?
Ooh, good question. They all film on Sony A7S3s. So those are really nice. Then they run Tascam lab mics on everybody. So TASCAM. And so
do they have any like microphones on top of the cameras? Like our setup?
I think they run some shotgun mics, as I remember too. And so those 4 filmers are super like on point. They're always like filming different angles. Like they really focus big on reactions. So if 2 of them were filming like Nathan and his 2 buddies, the other 1 or 2 would be filming us, the participants, and like our reaction to stuff.
So just almost a lot of B-roll, if anything.
Yeah, kind of, I guess. And so after the filmers, there was like three to five producers, and the producers would go around and they all had walkie talkies in their ears, and they were like talking to everybody like, bring this here, do that, buy lunch, whatever.
Wow.
And so these people were always running around set, like making sure all the props were ready and all that. And then after that, they had maybe 6, they call them production assistants. And these people did like any of the work that anybody else didn't want to do, like sweeping and setting up stuff or being a scary clown or whatever. So these people were always just on the ready to do other stuff. And maybe there was even more than that.
Was there an audio guy?
No audio guy.
So it's just up to you to hit record on your lav mic
And hope.
get going.
Yeah. So no audio guy, but they had a lot of production assistants. There might have even been more than that. There might have been 10 to 15 of those people alone.
Did they do the audio sync thing?
No, they just clap with their hands like 4 times. And yeah, it was quite an experience. I was really shocked to see that he didn't live there. I thought for sure he'd live there.
Based off his videos, though, I kind of was like, maybe he doesn't live there because he really didn't care about the floors getting damaged or the broken windows or anything when he filled his house with balls or filled his house with packing peanuts or filled it with Orbeez or whatever else he filled it with, trampolines and stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things got broken.
Yeah, that's for sure. I asked him about that. I was like, hey, man, I saw you guys totally trash the floors. I see they're brand new. And he said, yeah, we had to get new floors for sure. But he said that they were already trashed when they came into the house. So they needed redoing anyway.
So might as well make a video out of it.
Yeah, just absolutely wreck them.
Yeah. Why not? So, what'd you have for lunch?
Oh, that was my question. I thought of you because he said every time we had to ask a question, we had to raise our hand and say question. And so I, with the glue, and then I stuck my hands in confetti. So I had my hand covered in confetti. And I yelled at him. I was like, question. And he was like, what's up? And I said, when's lunch? They fed us like Subway the first day, and then BJ's the second day. And then we had Torchy's tacos for dinner the first night. So it was pretty good.
So you ate all right.
Yeah.
Nice.
But they had to feed like 30 or 40 people on set. So, I mean, it was a lot of food.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then as far as the business side of things goes, he has Fruit Blocks and then whatever his juice company is called. I can't even remember. Do you?
Juice Blocks.
Juice Blocks. Yeah, so he does all that stuff. He had the stuff around the house, marketing it, and tons of boxes of Fruit Blocks. And there was like a Fruit Blocks that was like a 1 foot cube sitting in his bunker, and it had started to smell pretty gnarly.
So it was real?
It was real. And the flies were eating it. So
you should have taken a bite.
Eating Unspeakable's floor blocks.
Yep.
So yeah, overall it was really interesting to see. And, obviously that makes a lot of sense for us as creators to make products like Fruit Blocks and the juice and all that stuff to sell as supplemental things to AdSense revenue. And that's what you and I have really been focusing on. So do you want to tell the people a little bit about our Shopify store and what we've been cooking up there?
Yeah, so if you haven't noticed already, your boy's got on some merch. He's got a hat on. I've got a hat on. It says Boneheads. We made our first little bit of merch to sell. So when we hit 500 subscribers, we can link the store into our videos. and have it show up at the bottom of our video, right? So that's our goal. And as of now, we are at 435 subscribers. So we're right there, about to get our 500 subscribers. And so we made a Shopify store and we're selling hats, hoodies, t-shirts, and that's about it right now, aside from our snowmobile course that's also on the Shopify store. So we've got a whole store layout, and as far as the future goes, we want to start selling more things such as drinks like the Spindrift. It's a sparkling water with flavoring in it, and it's got natural fruit juices in it, and it's unsweetened. So we want to make something similar to that, but our own, kind of like Unspeakable's juice boxes and his gummies that he makes, fruit blocks.
Yeah, fruit blocks.
Yeah. Okay. So that's our goal, and then we have other aspirations later on down the road for like our own clothing that we want to make, and
apart from even just the bonehead stuff we've got on,
yeah,
we want to make something that's apart from us and has its own brand,
yeah,
but we can use our brand to build that.
yeah. So like a Lululemon, for example, we want to build a brand similar to that. That's not necessarily tied to Bonehead's merchandise.
Yeah.
And on top of that, for our snowmobiling, we also want to make our own like mono suits, and I don't know about boots, but definitely suits and outer shells and maybe helmets. Who knows? But definitely going to start with the outer shell, the suits, and some underlayers and gloves and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. And that all fits into with our plans for the clothing brand that we don't want to spoil quite yet. But it's all super exciting, and we've got the snowmobiling course, which I think will probably be the biggest source of revenue for us at the start. Hopefully. I guess we'll see how it sells, but that's hopefully going to carry us into doing this full time.
Yep. We are looking forward to doing this full time. So if you want to support us, a little plug here, go to boneheads.store, grab some merch.
Yeah. And as far as the business side of that, we use Thinkific, I think, for courses. We use Printful for our on-demand printing of these, so we have no inventory costs on the merch, which is nice. And then they handle the shipping and all that too, so we don't have to carry inventory.
Yeah, and a quick thing about Printful. Every time you come up with a new design on any piece of clothing or hat or whatever, they charge you $10 for creating the first design. So keep that in mind, because we actually ended up losing money on one of our first orders because we had it priced and then it cost $10 to make it. So we actually lost like
$2 or $3
or $3 on it. So just keep that in mind on your first orders of a new design or whatever you have, that you could be losing $10 on your first order.
Yeah. Hopefully in the scheme of things it won't matter, but we'll see. Also, something I set up on our store is an email capture, and it's super important to capture people that are interested in your products' emails so that you can remarket to them in the future in a more personal way. Or if you get risky enough and want to go the full kahuna, you get their number, and then you can do text message marketing. So we're starting to collect. We've got a few emails.
Really?
We're offering 10% off as an exchange for your email address. And our site traffic has actually been pretty heavy. We get like 50 visitors a day, and I don't know where they're coming from,
We
but
don't have that many friends.
we don't have that many friends, I guess.
Maybe we do. I don't know.
Yeah, but whoever it is, they're coming.
Well, cool. Yeah, that's exciting. Let's see what else. What else?
We're trying to post 12 videos or film at least 12 videos in the next month. We got 3 down, so it means 9 to go. And we got 24 days to the end of this month. Pretty much.
Technically 4 down, if you want to count.
Oh,
the
yeah, you're right.
Unspeakable video.
You're right. Good call. 8 more to go, maybe 9 if we squeeze it out. So we've got some good ideas that'll be just easy to film around the house and low capital. And then we've got a handful of more expensive ones that are a little more exciting for us.
And then we got some other ones that involve us going to Phoenix or maybe California. I don't know.
Yeah. Something else I might be interesting for them to know about is you told me the other day that you were like kind of falling out of love with YouTube. Maybe that'd be interesting for them to know more about.
Yeah, I think you hear it all the time. People saying that they're burnt out on YouTube and all that stuff, and I've definitely been feeling the burnout.
What do you feel like is? Could you put your finger on what's caused it, or?
I don't know what's caused it. It's just the passion seems to have faded a little bit, but at the same time, it's just like it goes away and then it comes back and then it goes away. So it's kind of weird. It's like some days I'm just not feeling it, and like I really don't want anything to do with YouTube. And then other days it's like, let's do it, you know? So I don't know. I kind of felt the same way about snowmobiling a couple weeks ago, but after going out this past week, it started to come back to me. But I don't know. I think it's just a matter of balance for me because I tend to get burned out on a lot of things that I spend all my waking hours on and thinking about, and then don't take any time for myself to do what I want to do and like what makes me happy. So I think it's finding a good balance between that for me. And I don't know if anybody else out there has felt this way, but burnout's real and it can hit you like a brick.
True that. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things. If you know where you're headed, or at least this is how I view it, I feel like I know where we're headed, and I know where I want to be, and I know the good things that we want to accomplish when we become successful. But it feels kind of selfish right now because we have to kind of put our oxygen mask on, to use the plane analogy. If the plane is going down, they say put your mask on first before you help somebody else.
Yeah.
And we've been doing our best to help people on the way, but it's hard when money's tight and we still got to put videos out and pay editors and thumbnail guys and all this. But it's like there's not much giving back right now and super soulfully rewarding things. But it's like the uncanny valley. There's like the initial excitement, and then there's like, oh crap, we got a lot of work to do at the bottom, and then you're like start to get some traction, and then So I definitely feel like we're in the uncanny valley of just a lot of work, a lot of mistakes, a lot of whatever right now.
Yeah, I think it's also hard just because we we work like doing a bunch of other jobs too on top of the YouTube thing. So I think it's really easy for me to feel so burnt out because first of all, I don't even really like what we work on most of the time. So then it just feels like we spend 8 hours of our day or whatever doing that. And then it's just so much harder for me to want to work on YouTube stuff after that because I've already spent so much of my energy doing something I didn't want to do. And then working on YouTube and doing the things that aren't necessarily fun about YouTube just makes it so much harder. And then I just feel so burnt out and it just keeps going every single day on loop, you know?
On repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tough thing. I mean, we just got to kind of push through it, I guess, if we want to make the YouTube thing work, because there's, I think I would kick myself if we woke up every day in 6 months and we were still like, oh yeah, we're gonna go work for 8 hours doing construction that we don't want to do. And I feel like we're, especially with Unspeakable's traffic, he'll probably push to our channel that we have a prime opportunity to just take it and run.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
But that goes back to like our alignment as to why we make content, and what do you think excites you about why we make content, or what the content you want to make going forward is?
Well, first of all, I thoroughly I thoroughly enjoy making content. Like I think it's fun when once like we start hitting record and start filming and you never know what's going to happen next kind of thing and we're just filming having a good time. What I don't like, what I like absolutely dread about the whole YouTube thing is like editing. Like even though we don't have an or we do have an editor, I still dread it, you know. But I love hitting record and just filming and being involved in it and turning something into something amazing, you know? So I think I like what we're doing as far as like challenges and stuff like that. And I think that's the fun content to make because it can be so different and unique. And it's not like kind of the same thing over and over again, but a different scent, you know? It's like one day you could be driving in a Cybertruck across the country, and then the next day you could be making a restaurant in a porta potty, you know? Something just totally different, but it it's just so interesting, you know?
Yeah.
And I like that we're on that path and Unspeakable has the same thing going for him and a lot of other creators like that. But I also like to have more of like a path where we're giving back more to those in need, kind of like bridging the gap between Unspeakable and Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I don't know. There's probably some way we could think of to do more of that now with little money,
Yeah.
but it's easy for us to fall into the trap of doing video ideas that we can just record quickly and at
Yeah,
home that are
for
still
sure.
pretty cool. So,
For sure. I think there's a fine line until we get to where we want the channel to be at, you know?
yeah, or at least on the path to that.
And like going back to what I previously said, I think finding that fine line between Unspeakable's videos and Mr. Beast's videos, but not like Mr. Beast's current videos. I'm saying more of his older videos where he opens a free store and gives away PlayStations and goes around and gives out $10,000 to people and just makes their day, but also finding a way to make it a challenge for us and or like the circle video, you know. Like I think that's a great video. that if we could figure out a way to remix it somehow, I think that would be more fulfilling for me, regardless of how many views it gets, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I guess it's just that thing we got to do the free stuff almost until
Yeah, for
we
sure.
make it. But it's I think that's exciting. I feel like I personally am intrigued in doing YouTube or feel the motivation because we can almost, have fun and mess around like you said. But we can also do the same thing where like hide broccoli and brownies. We can feed people the stuff they normally wouldn't want to eat or consume in tidbits in our super entertaining videos. And I think that's what excites me because we can, teach them about eating healthy or, just say stuff like that to kind of build up this idea in their minds that there's ways to eat healthy and stuff like that, and just kind of drop these kernels of knowledge that hopefully spiral into a bigger snowball in their life of, becoming healthier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also like once we're big enough, it's kind of like a lead by example type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like if once we've got a big enough following and people are super fans, those little things like of us trying to be healthy and us wanting to sell healthier drinks and have an impact that way, it will in change just make them want to do that because they like us, you know? And I think that's what's most exciting about it all, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Especially when it seems like all the big YouTubers right now don't sell anything healthy,
Yeah.
don't promote any sort of personal development or stuff like that. I mean, in some ways, I guess they do in challenges, but
Yeah.
a lot of the challenges I feel like are still like sedentary. There's no,
Yeah, like sitting in a box until
you get mailed across the country.
or having your contestants sit in a box until the 100-year-old leaves or whatever, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. So I feel like we could add that dash of spice
Yeah.
of working out, eating healthy, whatever we could do in those type of videos to make it unique to us and teach people about all that stuff.
Yeah. And hopefully make a healthy lunchly.
Yeah, since they didn't.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. It's like Prime is so bad for you. And then I know Lunchly is probably a little healthier than Lunchables,
Yeah, but like by what percent?
but
It's not much.
who knows? You know, it's just kind of sad that those things are being pushed to those who are vulnerable, you know?
Yeah, or look up to these people too.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a challenge for us though, making products that are equally as tasty but healthier.
Yeah. And I think Ryan Trahan kind of did something pretty good to start, you know? Like he's cut down the sugar and um like the candy that he makes by like 70 or 80%, which is great.
Yeah, I feel like that's a great start for sure. But I can almost tell if you and I do something like that though, we're going to go so extreme that
Yeah.
well, maybe. Who's to say, but we've got a couple ideas and we don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
But
But like for example, a company that did this really well is with ice cream. They made an ice cream out of whole milk, whole cream, and like organic, pasteurized, unpasteurized eggs, whatever, and sweetened it with honey. So that's like a great start for those of you who like ice cream and sweet treats. And it's tastes amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Like I wouldn't be able to tell a difference that it's an all natural ice cream versus something you buy at the store with 20 pounds of granulated sugar in it,
Yeah,
you know?
that's so true. That's a good point. I mean, that would be a slam dunk creator product too. I mean, it's sad that they're kind of, having such trouble penetrating the market, but maybe that's something down the line
Yeah.
we could partner with them
Yeah.
or take them over or something if they struggle to gain market share. But man, that would
Yeah.
be cool.
I mean, it's so good of Sprouts for letting them in,
I agree.
and from what I've seen, everybody loves their ice cream after they try it.
So, putting a bow tie on this whole thing, it's been kind of a crazy couple months. We've had a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, it's also winter here, so it's feeling like a lot of more downs because the sun isn't shining as long.
It's true. It's only like 7 hours of sunlight a day.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, good a good downtime in the winter for us to kind of think about things, film some content, generate some ideas for the summer.
Yeah, I think we just got to start using this time to film as much as we can.
Yeah, for sure. So, Unspeakable's thing was great. That's going to be a huge dub for us. It's going to really put some wind in our sails. Our merch store is live.
Yep, boneheads.store.
That store, we're taking payments. We have a business license. We are officially official. So there's a lot of good coming down the pike, but right now it's time to get back to work.
Yep.
All right. That wraps up this episode of the pod. But hopefully when you see us next, we've got 1.5 billion subscribers, but it'll probably only be 1,000. We're lucky.
Nah. We'll get as many as we are worth.
Well said. Well said. And we'll update you guys on how we figure out how to become worth more subscribers. Bring you along the journey.
And with that, stay grinding.
Stay grinding. Stay grinding is right, my guys.